Hello and welcome to the Inspirations Podcast, Episode 3. Whoever is your husband, wife, or life partner will either make or break you. In this expatriate life, in the American diaspora, challenges abound every day, wherever you are and whatever you do. Life is really tough in America, and many things can wreak havoc on marriage if one does not keep their head up, focused on the goal that brought about the expatriation and how to survive in the new jungle. For many years, Africa was depicted as the jungle, the true jungle, meaning the bush, the forest, a natural jungle. Here in America, it's a new jungle, completely different from the African jungle. What do I mean by new jungle? This is a man-made jungle, full of mazes like immigration, work, housing, culture shock, insertion in the community, acceptance at all levels, even at church. Can you believe it? I used to be shocked to see that people would not want, they would avoid sitting on the same bench with me at church, or simply ignore my salutation because they do not want to sit next to an African person in church. I used to be appalled, but thankfully, things have very much improved these days. So, in the midst of all the challenges here and there, both partners must remain strong, clear-headed, and determined to find solutions to better their life. But the moment any one of them decides to seek comfort outside of their nest, it only helps to aggravate things at home. Women sometimes, and I have heard of, could have an affair, but it is very rare to hear of such cases in the African community here in the US. Women here, African wives, are very much devoted to their marriage. Most of the time, it's the men who decide to have an affair with another woman who they believe will help them to make their life better. Most of the time, the reason for this affair to begin with is immigration. That is, get the papers to find a good paying job, housing in a nice area, buy a car, and easily afford the necessities of life. Unfortunately, the grass always looks greener on the other side until you cross over and realize that the devil is in the detail. Like we say in America, there is no free lunch here. You must pay for it. The ugliest detail in this kind of situation is that as the man progresses in his extramarital relationship, the woman outside is in the bliss, of course, and she cannot wait to get married to her man and be with him forever. All this while, she does not know that the man she's dating is lying to her about him not having to do anything with a woman at home. He keeps saying to her that their relationship is over. All he says about her is negative, and that she has become a thorn in his flesh. But how can he marry again with another woman? How can one comprehend that when the existing marriage is not yet dissolved? The easiest way, it seems, for both partners in the extramarital bond is to resort to abusing the wife. At home, when the husband comes back from gallivanting with his newly found love and spending all his money to cater to their needs, he resorts to verbal, emotional, and physical abuse of his wife. He thinks that he must do this in order to cut himself completely off of his marriage, so that he can prove to the woman outside and also in a court of law that the marriage has fallen apart due to irreconcilable differences. Funny, huh? Not so fast as he dreams, because his wife is still in love with him and does not want her marriage to break. She thinks that she can work things out. She cries a lot, but she continues to do her best to support her family, and at this point, she has become the main provider because her husband is busy spending his money outside with his new love, eating out, buying new clothes, going to the movies, traveling, and you name it. When he realizes that his wife is not giving in to his verbal, emotional abuse, including refusal of a sacred bond of marital intimacy, he feels justified to start beating his wife. Unfortunately, most wives will put up with this kind of treatment for the sake of their children, and also to save face, because it's a shame to be called a single mother. It's a scare for the children. It's a scare for these wives. And because of that, they will continue to be in denial for a long time, while this situation is affecting the children mentally and at school. This situation of anomie will fester, and the time-ticking bomb will explode at the last straw in the husband's desperate attempt to get rid of his wife so he can marry his new bride. He becomes violent and beats his wife mercilessly. Neighbors call the police because of a noise and also because of previous incident, and them hearing noise and the wife crying. The police intervenes, and the wife is told to press charges against her husband for assault and battery. These are charges that could potentially make life difficult for the husband, because possibly the court will give a protection order to the wife and the children. The husband can come to his senses in these incidents, go to court and argue that he wants to improve his behavior and stay with his family. Otherwise, the court will give a final protection order to his wife and children, most of the time for a year, after which they must go back to court again and see if they can work out an agreement to come back together and be a family again. As you see, there goes certainly the beginning of the dissolution of the beautiful marriage. Did they ever anticipate this course of actions and this new predicament when they were back in their home country, but decided to leave for a greener pasture? Living in the diaspora does not have to become a nightmare. It can indeed be beautiful and sweet when it is well planned and one sticks to the goals. Remember, folks, before leaving Africa, you were married. Now, living in America, you must both try to preserve your marriage, because this is your primary support system. The system that helps you to grow and to thrive. It is in the best interest of the couple to work together, understand each other, communicate better, find always a better ground, continue to love each other and remain strong. Expatriation to America can be a beautiful dream. Thanks for joining this podcast. Remember to like, share, and subscribe